this to this. I'm CyberFox, and if you like that drastic change, stick around. These are my thoughts and review of the Elgato Key Light Air, what they can do for your video and your stream. Maybe for normal situations, this would look okay. But when you're wanting to up the level of professionalism, whether it be on a Zoom call or your streaming or your content creation, even like YouTube videos, you need better lighting than just the natural lighting in the room. Right now, the only light source is actually coming from the ceiling. I installed regular daylight 5000K color temperature light bulbs up there to replace the old warm yellowish color light bulbs that were up there. However, my desk is in a corner. So my options are to brighten up my face with exterior lights or somehow reflect the light off the walls onto my face. So first, let's talk camera specs. First of all, this is on a Canon T3i, so it's a few years old, but it still works pretty good for regular video and recording and all that kind of stuff. Right now, you're seeing it through an ISO of 800, an f-stop of 3.5, and a shutter speed of 1/40. Problem with that is the higher the ISO, the more grain that you're gonna see naturally in the video. The slower shutter speed is gonna let in more light into the lens, which is what we want for right now until we can figure out a good solution for lighting on my face. Let's look at a simple solution first, like turning on a light, which is just your regular old lamp that you would have on your, nightstand or something like that. Okay, and you can see it's got a nice warm bulb color to it. It's diffused pretty well. It's throwing light on my face, which means that we can kind of tweak with some of the settings on the camera. However, it might not be the light you're looking for. So even if we were to increase kind of the look of that just by taking the lampshade off, there's really not a lot of control that you can get with that light, obviously, right? So it's kind of thrown all over the place. It's not that appealing. Enter Elgato's Key Light Air. With the Key Light Air, let's first turn on the one to my right. That's really bright, okay. Whew. Don't really look into that. Now this is only on 25% brightness. I have it set to 5,000 degrees Kelvin, so it's matching the color temperature of the bulbs in the ceiling. 25% on that seems pretty bright. I'm washed out in the camera. I can see it on the monitor here. Already better. So right now we've changed the settings on the camera. Now we've brought the ISO from 800 down to 400. The f-stop is still at the 3.5, the max opening for this lens, but then we brought our shutter speed from 1/40 to 1/60. Hopefully I've gotten rid of some of the grain on my face because the ISO has been brought down, and also the shutter speed has been sped up a little bit, so it looks like less lag here when I'm shooting video. And this is great. One light is actually really, really nice. 25%, we don't need to take it any higher, but let's just, for argument's sake, show you what it's gonna look like. 50% here, which is still pretty bright. Obviously, I'm getting washed out again. Even with these settings here, I could even do the ISO a little bit lower if I wanted to. 75%, it's like bright. And this is if you wanted to walk on the surface of the sun. Are my retinas still there? I can't tell. So this is actually doing a pretty good job. However, you can see there's a lot of shadow on this side of the face and this shoulder really because the light source is on my right-hand side. So I wish I kind of had a second light. And I do. The light on my left I have set to the same color temperature of 5000K. It's only pumping out 20% brightness on this one. More of a fill light, or it's acting as a fill light at this point, but it's lighting up my shoulder, this side of my face. This is still giving me a little bit of shadow on this side, which is okay. That's okay for dramatic effect, but I'm getting a lot more separation, I think, from the back. And let's try to shut off the lights now to see if we can get more of a dramatic look. So let's just turn on the right light for right now. It's on 25% brightness. Ooh, gosh, that looks good, doesn't it? It's more intimate between us. God, did I ever tell you you have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen? You could just look into them for days. Also good for an interrogation. I don't know. I wasn't even there. I was home. Ask my cousin. He was there with me. Anyways, one light is great if you want that kind of look. This is obviously a dark room and I'm getting a lot of shadow. You can see even more on my left-hand side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on the second light at the same 20%. So we're at 25% on the right, 20% on the left as far as the brightness goes. However, the background's a little bland, so let me just change something real quick. Pro tip, much better. Adding a couple lights in the back really changes a lot. So this lamp right here has just got a warm, regular bulb in it. You know, I would say somewhere around 4,000 Kelvin as far as temperature goes. RGB lighting behind the television, and then this little one right here. But it really kind of gives you that sense that, oh, this is kind of cool. He's got this nice studio set up. You guys saw it before. It's not that great yet, by the way. We're gonna build this out, but you gotta be patient a little bit with me. Key Light Airs are doing their thing. So still, 25% and 20%. Really don't need to push these lights as much as people think. Let's compare the Elgato Key Light to just the lamp. You can see a very big difference, obviously, here. This lamp doesn't put out nearly as enough light as we did with the camera settings were different. Let's take the filter off. Again, you get some lighting here. It's probably not the lighting that you want. I can put 2 or 3 of these around me. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have nearly as much control between the brightness and the color temperature of how I want my video to look. So let's talk pros and cons about the Elgato Key Light Airs. Build quality. These are exceptionally built. They're very, very sturdy. You take it out and you know it's kind of a quality product. You know cheap knockoff stuff from something that's got some build quality to it. The bases are nice, they're heavy, they're sturdy, they're not gonna go anywhere. The poles are really the same. They're made out of metal. You can feel it's got quality parts to it. I really like the diffusion on the light itself. It's not, I don't know if it's an acrylic or just kind of a different plastic, but it doesn't feel like if you touch the light that it was gonna break it off. I think that they'll last you for quite some time. It's minimalistic, but it fits great on any desk. No tools needed at all, really at all. Everything that came in the package was great. The base attaches to the pole with a thumb screw. There's another thumb screw to fix the height adjustment. Everything else, you plug in the power cord, you plug it in the outlet, you're basically done. Let's say, for instance, you're doing product photography and you need really good lighting on a subject that's straight down on your table with your camera. These are gonna work perfect for you. You can bring the light up high enough that it's flooding your product with great lighting, or you could do one high, one off to the side for that kind of shadowy effect on it, but still have enough light to make the product look great. Lightweight and portable, air. It's there for a reason in the name. One-handed, you could move these around a studio pretty easily. Control, control, control. That's one of the best things about these lights. If I come in the studio, all I have to do is key up Control Center, key up. I guess it was an unintended pun. It's not that funny. As a matter of fact, it's not funny at all. I can change the lighting and the brightness on the fly. I can independently control both lights. They do have a desktop version of the application, which being in front of the computer, I can just pull it up on my PC and it works just fine. They also offer an iOS and Android application, which works exactly the same way. But these aren't without flaw, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say because I really do love these lights, but there's a couple things that keep bothering me about them. First off, no remote control. So if my computer is off or my phone is, I'm on a call or something else, I can't control these lights. The lights will revert to the last setting you had them on if you turn the on and off switch off, then back on again. There's no easy thing that I can just pick up and say on, off, turn up brightness, turn down, and change the color temperature at all. I know it's a small thing to have a gripe about, but honestly, if my computer's off and I just run into the studio for something, I can't easily turn them on and off without reaching behind. I will say one thing about Control Center. I have been having connectivity issues with having these lights always be recognized by Control Center. Whether it's on my PC or on my iOS device, For some reason, some days they work perfectly fine. They connect immediately. Some days I either have to constantly reset them or turn them off and then back on again. I'm not sure what the issue is. It could possibly be on my side with my router. The router is also not in the same room as this, so that could possibly be what's going on with that. But everything else seems to be working fine internet connectivity wise down here. I have a console that I game on and a Wi-Fi laptop, no internet issues. So Elgato, I don't know if that's something that you guys can fix in the update, but it kind of irritates me sometimes with the connectivity issues. Weighted base versus desk clamp. Just be aware, they say that these are good for small desks, and they're not bad, but my desk depth is about 24 inches, and these take up probably about a quarter of that. Again, I'm not complaining. I have a large enough desk depth-wise. The desk is a corner desk. It's 55 inches on one side, 60 on the other. So I have plenty of room on mine. Just be aware that the Key Light Airs come with a weighted base, which is very nice, but the original Key Light itself came with the desk clamp. There's a pro and con to both. The desk clamp can't stand on its own. It's probably much harder to bring it if you're doing photography anywhere else or videography anywhere else than where your studio is set up. So I am very happy with the Key Light Airs. I don't think that the Key Light would work for me personally. Just something to be aware of if you have a smaller desk, that the weighted base will take up a little bit more room than, let's just say, a desk clamp. However, Elgato being Elgato have kind of thought it through and said, you know, if you really want the desk clamp, just get the Elgato multi-mount. By the way, I do a lot of hand gestures here. I don't know if anybody's noticing that. Larger power block, no option for USB. So these lights probably will require a bigger draw, and even if they had a USB on their power connector itself, you're probably gonna plug it into a power block. Again, it's just about being a little bit more aware that the power block on the Key Light Airs is larger than, let's just say, a small power block for a mobile device. However, I'm gonna go out on a bit of a limb here. I would wager that if you're a professional videographer, photographer, content creator, or you're trying to get serious about streaming, these are almost a necessity. It is worth noting Elgato sells the Key Light Air right now for $129.99 US dollars at the time of this recording. A decent ring light, which is another popular option, is gonna run you just south of what one of these Key Light Airs retails for. I don't think that you're gonna get as much control out of it. You definitely won't get as much brightness out of what these things can kick out. And the ring lights take up so much more space. These are small enough to fit on a desk. You have plenty of control with them. Final verdict, if I had to give it a 1 out of 5, I think they really deserve a 4.5 out of 5. It's almost the perfect light. You have a ton of control on this. It's very versatile. You can control, again, really anything that you need. It's diffused exceptionally well. I really highly recommend them. Hope you guys really did enjoy the video. It's been my first YouTube video, as well as my first review of anything on YouTube. Hopefully you got something out of this and you got a little bit more information on if the Elgato Key Light Airs will work for you. I do intend on growing this channel, so if you like what you saw today, please consider liking and subscribing to this for future video updates. Right now, I do stream on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday, so check out that link below. It's kind of a mix of some retro gaming, some new gaming, some just hanging around and answering some questions. So be sure to visit Twitch because I'd love to see you guys over there too. Thanks guys, see you next time.